Hi everybody. Like they said, my name is Skye, and if this is your first time hearing this and you're wondering what kind of name that is, you're not alone. People always assume that there was some intricate story about how my mom picked my name, but really she just found it in a baby book. Nothing magical happened to give me the name Skye. And well, Skye is a fairly simple name. I still find that people have a lot of trouble with it. Here are some things that are not my name. Skye, Skylar, Skye, Star, Skype. That's my personal favorite. The first time that my name ever caused a problem for me was when I was on a boys' soccer team when I was younger. A boy on the other team pushed me after hearing my name was Skye, telling me it was a stupid name. I remember running to my mom after, hiding from the situation, completely embarrassed and not knowing what to do. Originally, I went to a very small private school where everybody knew my name. It was only a problem when I was meeting strangers, and I started to realize a lot of patterns about how those interactions went. I had to go through the same routine every time. Yes, my name is Skye. It's not Skylar. You can call me Skylar if you want. My parents aren't hippies, and no, my last name's not Blue or Cloud. I realized the name given to me by my parents was starting to turn me into an outsider. I began to think that how other people saw me was out of my control, which was a very scary feeling. I knew from a young age that I was as different from other people as I felt. I was uncomfortable when no one else around me was, always feeling this looming over my shoulders, and I didn't know why. And for a long time, I attributed it to having the name Skye, thinking that that's what put me apart from other people, that's what was making me feel like there was something wrong with me. Upon realizing that, I had to either try to understand or accept the things that I couldn't control, things like my name. Once in a while, I would have to deal with having somebody call me Skye, but I didn't have to let that stop me from being Skye. When I was very young, my father had a go-to saying for when I strayed from the example of my two brilliant older sisters. My dad would say, she will get by on her personality. And well, my father meant that as a lighthearted joke. I saw no reason that I shouldn't strive to have a personality that I could get by on. I needed to make myself okay with sticking out. I learned to use it to my advantage and enjoy being the only me. And after doing that, I felt prepared to handle other barriers that would come my way. In the summer of last year, I was diagnosed with a severe generalized anxiety disorder and moderate obsessive compulsive. After talking to my mom about how poorly I was feeling, I decided that I had to try and find help because I couldn't do this myself. At the end of the appointment, he told me what I was going through was common, but there were definitely some problems. And I wasn't surprised by this. It actually explained a lot. It explained why I was always feeling some pain that other people weren't. There was always something that was making me feel guilty when I had nothing to feel guilty about. Something that was always making me feel like I was feeling the wrong thing at the time. I couldn't stop myself from staying in even when I wanted to go out with my friends, even if that's the only thing I wanted to do. It was like a crushing feeling. When I was taking tests, I felt like I was having a heart attack, and nobody else felt that way. Other people were getting 9, 10 hours of sleep. I was getting 2 because I couldn't quiet the obsessive thoughts in my head. I knew I had anxiety attacks before, but I didn't call them that. I called them bad days, junior year meltdowns, or PMSing. I was misclassifying every attack that I had. Before, I thought some of my quirks and some of my personality traits that weren't the best. Now I know that they're just symptoms of what I'm going through. Luckily, I'm now at the time where I can have my OCD and anxiety stop being an obstacle. Just like I couldn't choose my name, I couldn't choose to stop having anxiety, but I could do something about how I would handle it. Approximately 3.3 million people in the United States suffer from OCD, and 40 million have an anxiety disorder. But we don't talk about these things the way we talk about physical ailments. When somebody has diabetes, nobody judges them for taking insulin and getting the medicine that they need. When somebody has a broken leg, nobody tells them that they aren't even trying to get better or they don't want to go for a run. And when somebody has cancer, nobody replies, no you don't. For some reason, people with mental health disorders are expected to function without any medical help. The stigma surrounding being medicated for these disorders has been a huge problem for people like myself that have to worry about validating our situation to others out of fear that we will be misunderstood or judged. When I was young, I spent a lot of time bracing myself when I had to introduce myself to other people. And now, even though I don't talk about my OCD as common as I talk about my name, it's still something that I have to go through sharing with other people. Having to share parts of myself of varying degrees of intimacy is not easy, especially when it's not a choice. Knowing that people may judge me or become uncomfortable is just part of living with a mental disability like anxiety. Instead of being able to find strength in numbers, society has urged us to keep these disorders to ourselves, because you never know which people are going to tell you that anxiety disorders are made up, that you just need to go on a run, that you just need to go on vacation, get out of town, take a breath, it'll go away. It won't. In my case, I'm not just having a bad day, and I'm not just having a bad week, and going on a run is not going to make me feel better. I was just born like this. And disclosing this information about myself has shown me a bunch of different reactions. The biggest difference in talking about my disorders is with people who also take medication versus people who don't. People who are also medicated for different things like PTSD, OCD, anxiety, and other mental disabilities are the first to always offer their support. They never question how I choose to handle different situations. The way that I cope with things, they always understand because they go through it. And even when telling other people and the struggle with sharing those parts of yourself, they understand the ignorance and the discomfort that they've met in those processes. People who are not medicated, it's sometimes different. Even if they're not trying to be offensive, oftentimes things don't really go so well. The stigma about this is so bad that I have friends that are so anxious and in so much discomfort that they won't get help even though they know they need it. They've seen me go through this and they know that I'm better for having done it, but they won't do it themselves. And the reasons that they give me, I feel like I'm always hearing it from people that aren't them. It's like somebody else is talking through their mouth. They'll tell me other people have it harder. I know I'm not great, but I could be worse. This will stop. I don't want to be medicated, it's going to ruin my personality. Which is a weird thing to hear from your friends that know you're medicated. But when you tell somebody that they don't deserve help with medicine, you're depriving them of their mental stability. If you tell somebody that other people have it worse, and for that reason they don't deserve to get help in whatever way they need, you're depriving them of mental stability. And you're the only one that's doing that. When you share these parts of yourself, you never know who will dismiss and demean you, even when they aren't trying to. For me, there are many people at this point that I've had to disclose this information to, such as guidance counselors, teachers, friends, other people that have any impact on my life. And through these friendships that I've made and kept and have made stronger, I know that I'm strong enough to change the things that I can, and that I can accept the things that I can't change. I've made some of the most important connections with others that I've ever had, and I will always have other people to help me get through it. Looking back, I remember crying to my mom that I wanted to change my name, because it was too weird and I didn't want to be any more outlandish than I already felt. But I am so thankful that I never did, because today, I know exactly why my parents chose my name. I am more than my mental disorders. I am Skye.